Okay, so hey guys and welcome back to another predictions video, and in today's video I'm going to be predicting the Murtazaliev versus Culcay fight. If you are new around here though and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so, like the video if you do indeed like the video, and let's get straight into it. So Murtazaliev is 21-0 with 15 KOs and Culcay is 33-4 with 14 KOs. This fight is for the vacant IBF World Super Welterweight title. Murtazaliev's last fight was a win via unanimous decision versus Valenzuela Jr. back in 2022. Culcay's last fight was a win via KO in round 2 versus Monzon. This is in Culcay's home country of Germany. Culcay is 38 and Murtazaliev is 31. Murtazaliev is 6 foot and Culcay is 5'7". Culcay's losses have come versus Derevyanchenko in 2019, Solecki in 2017, Andrade in 2017 and Pitto in 2013, and he's been pro since 2009. And to speak a bit more about what I've just been saying, obviously this for that of the vacant IBF World Super Welterweight title. It's a division now where there's a lot going on in it at the moment. I mean, we've recently just had the Zu Fundora fight, which is a great fight. We've got Crawford moving up. We've got Spence Jr. moving up. So the winner of this fight, you never know. There could be, knocking around on the door for that in the meantime. You never know. But we'll have to wait and see. It's an entertaining fight. It's going to be intriguing to see Murtazaliev on that of a big stage for the first time. He's been rumoured to fight big fights, but he's never really gotten into that point. And this isn't a huge fight. Obviously, it's for a world title, so it's going to have more eyes on it. But it's not a huge fight yet. But it's gonna, if he does win, of course, which is a big ask, he's gonna build himself as a brand doing so as expected. But obviously, he's been inactive. He's been out for going on 2 years now, and it's not going to have helped his career. And I suppose it's going to be intriguing to see how it affects him. Step up in opponent, in my opinion, this, but also coming back from a long time out doesn't normally mix as the best of recipes. Culcay, he's been obviously the more active. He's been fighting at a lower level, but being used to fighting at his home country now. And he's still, like I mentioned, fighting in Germany, and he's fought at that of a high level. Like I've mentioned some names there. Derevyanchenko is a big name, and I mean Andrade in himself, maybe even though it was early on in his career, that's still a relatively big name. And so he has fought at a high level. He's fought for a world title before against Andrade, and obviously he came up short, but he gave Andrade a really good fight that fight, and it was a closer fight than I'm sure a lot of people expected. But since then, obviously he has lost every time he's had a step up, and that's obvious now, and it kind of got exposed against Derevyanchenko. Obviously he's not a huge step up, but he was on a good run of form at that time, and he was doing well at that time, but he kind of did get showed that he was struggling with the step up, Culcay. And obviously coming in as the much older fighter and also shorter fighter in the process of that is two things that are not going to necessarily go and be a good thing for him. But to speak about them both as fighters, Murtazaliev as a fighter, he's a fast starter. He's got that maybe more traditional Russian type style where they don't really have a feeling out process. They just kind of go into your face straight away, and then you have to deal with it, and it's like sink or swim, I suppose. And it's an entertaining style to watch, and it means often he can catch fighters off guard, and that's how he can get stoppages from doing that. But not necessarily. If you can counteract it and can expect it, then you can see it coming. He's a front foot type fighter, finds his range very well. Like I say, quick starter, instantly finds his range almost. Lets his hands go, plants his feet well, accurate, controlled pressure, accurate at times I will say actually though. There's times where he can headhunt a bit, and when he's trying to force the stoppage in the fight, then that's when the accuracy can drop. But he does have the accuracy there, and when he wants to utilise it and use it, it's when he's using that controlled pressure, it's going to be what I'd recommend him use in my opinion. He's got solid timing, good power. He's got that type of thing where he's not really willing to take too much of a back step, but he will just kind of do a pull counter on you often, and he's knocked fighters out from doing that. And not necessarily it's the best of things, because if you don't land cleanly, or if you miss, or if you get caught with a shot that they're trying to throw onto you, then it's not necessarily the best of things, because he's not really taking much of a backward step. But he has caught fighters, and he has knocked people out doing it. He responds well when he does get caught with shots. He's aggressive, in your face, got a solid chin in the process, and he's going to be an entertaining fighter to watch, I'm sure of it, and I'm excited to see him back actually fighting now. Negatives about him: balance at times, like I say, footwork isn't amazing from him at all. Back foot, he's not really willing to go onto that other back foot, and so if he does actually have to, which Culcay definitely could put him onto that if he wants, then we'll have to wait and see how he deals with it. Keeps his head on the line, stands straight on quite a lot, got quite wide hooks, similar to that of Culcay in that aspect. They both can stand straight on at times, and they both have quite wide hooks. His defensive movement isn't great. Headhunts, like I mentioned. Inactivity, of course. Stands up bright. Hasn't really, like I mentioned, faced pressure, and so there's a few things there which there's questions to be answered, and there are weaknesses, and so we will see how somebody like Culcay, like I say, has to be able to deal with him. Speak about him as a fighter. He changes levels well. He's got solid combinations. Culcay. He throws in pairs often. He is quite a comfortable fighter a lot of the time. He moves in and out of range relatively well. Picks his shots well. When he has confidence, he will let his hands go, and he will look good in doing so. Of course, he has the much more experience of the two. He's also definitely going to be up for the fight, and probably will be trying to be in his face as well. And he's also got a good chin. He takes shots being in close, and throwing his combinations, he's going to take shots, and he has taken shots against tough fighters. And in all them 4 losses, he hasn't been stopped. And when you look at Andrade, Derevianchenko, they're both known for being quite aggressive, powerful punches, especially that of Andrade. And so he's done well to not get stopped, and so it shows that he has definitely got a good chin. Negatives, obviously, like I mentioned, he's wild with his hooks. He can get drawn into a fight, and probably will want to be drawn into a fight for this fight, in my opinion. He can lunge in, he can stand straight on, like I mentioned. He's lost every step up. His accuracy isn't always amazing either. Against physical pressure, as the smaller guy, he's not always amazing dealing with it. He's got quite a weak guard, chin often in the air. He can kind of chase you. It's weird. He will chase you around if he thinks that you're going to be willingly going on the back foot against him. But there has been times where I've seen him kind of be chased and just literally just run away because he doesn't want to deal with what is going to be coming. And it's strange, and it's not really something which is nice to see in that aspect. Murtazaliev is the favourite for this fight, and I think that Murtazaliev will win via TKO in round 11. I think it will be a relatively big statement to get a stoppage against Culcay. I believe he will do so, though. I think that range management, if he can keep Culcay at that of a range to an extent, then I think he'd be able to win. And obviously, with the much more power, I think he could probably catch Culcay if he does end up running in. So I think there's a couple ways in which he could win this fight, and I believe he will do so. As obviously, we'll have to wait and see how he deals with the inactivity, but I think he'll be able to handle it relatively well. Then who could go on to fight? I mean, there was talks, I believe, of him fighting Charlo a while ago. I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen or not, but when you look at other big fighters ranked around the IBF World Rankings, Lubin is ranked very high. I think that could make for a great fight, and that could bring big, eyes on to Murtazaliev, and like I mentioned, make for an entertaining one. But then if you also look at fighters that are also German fighters that are also highly ranked in the IBF rankings, and could just be fights to keep Murtazaliev active and progressing as a champion. People like Matevosian and Spommer are also 2 other options, like I mentioned, that are highly ranked as well and are good competitors to go in against, and so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Like the video if you did indeed like the video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.